Matt Stewart, welcome to Kickin Gags. That's the name of the show.
Great name.
I don't think I told you the name of the show.
I'm pretty happy with that name, actually. If I was going to name it something, it would be Kickin Gags.
Kickin Gags, thanks. I'm pretty sad. I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I was going to go with Kickin a Gag or Kickin Gags.
Kickin Gags. No, I think you nailed it.
Yeah, cheers. We'll do plugs straight off. So, Melbourne Comedy Festival, you're doing a show called Ding.
That's right.
Yes.
It's at the Chinese Museum, 6:30 every night apart from Mondays. On Sundays at 5:30.
Love that.
Perfect time for comedy.
Yeah, 5:30. That's the classic comedy time.
Yeah. People are ready to laugh at 5:30.
Yeah.
On a Sunday after a little session in the city. It's not bad.
Yep.
It's right in Chinatown there. People have a few dumplings and come in.
I was actually there last night at the Chinese Museum seeing another favourite mulleted comedian, Mr. Zach Dyer.
Yeah, great. Yeah. I'm in his room. I open up the night and he closes it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sammy Shah's in a mullet sandwich, so delicious.
Do you have the same audience? I feel like you guys would have a similar sort of crossover. He might have an NRL audience.
Yeah, he's got the Queensland roots.
Yeah.
He's a FNQ guy, I think.
Yeah.
Townsville or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I think there'd be some crossover probably.
Yeah. You just have a similar vibe, I think.
Yeah, similar-ish. He's a good guy. Very funny.
Yeah, he's good. But, I mean, come see Ding instead of...
just stay for the whole night.
The same, yeah, just stay there.
Yeah.
Like, has anyone done that?
Pick a good seat. Yeah, people have done that.
Really?
Yeah, just camp out for the night.
Yeah, right.
Go downstairs in between shows, grab a beer, come back up. You work off the beer as well there.
Yeah, that's a good night. Yeah, because it's up
the stairs.
That killed me.
I mean, that's on you, because I think, someone working at a sporting organisation should be able to make it up a couple of stairs,
Yeah, but I'd just gone to, Empress of China and had, 50 dumplings just before that. So
that's the perfect way to do it, I reckon.
Yeah.
Either dumplings before or after.
Yeah.
50 is probably, that's pushing
That's too much. It wasn't 50. It was, maybe
45,
15. And then,
okay.
your sides, your honey chickens and your beef black bean, Yeah, it's a good time.
Good.
But yeah, that 3 floors of stairs, there's elevators at least. But
yeah, there is an elevator if required.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have gone for that.
Yeah, well, nobody told me that your room was 3 floors up, so I don't know. They should warn you about that. Anyway, we're a footy show, so Saints supporter.
Yes.
How is that at the moment, especially?
Well, it's pretty good at the moment.
Yeah.
150th year celebrations and few wins.
Did you go to the game, the 150th?
Yeah, I went to the 150th. So, because I'm in town, I missed the first quarter of my show, but was able to walk over and get there early in the second quarter, I think.
Yeah.
And that was about the time it had turned.
Yeah.
I missed us getting to a 34-0 lead, and then I started to think I was the jinx, but it came good in the end.
Do you get superstitious about that kind of thing? Because I feel like Saints supporters are quite superstitious. It's like if you rocked up and then conceded 5 goals or whatever, you just go home because you thought you were
I'm not too bad at the games, but on TV, I can hardly listen to the radio. If it's close at all, I just can't do it. Luckily, you don't really need to anymore. You've got AO in your pocket. But on TV, it's hard. If there's a run against us, I'm like, that was possibly me. I sort of throw my phone away for a bit and then nervously check it again. And I'm no good watching it on the TV, but at the games, it's all right. I feel like it's easier. You can see the whole ground. You can yell.
Yeah.
You sort of get any of that sort of...
and you're amongst other Saints fans, so it's
That's important. I feel like it's brutal to watch a game on TV with people who either don't care or go for the other team.
Yeah.
Don't care is probably even worse.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind if they don't care and they're quiet.
Yes.
But if they're...
what I reckon, often I'm thinking of the people who don't care, they'll say stuff like, "Oh, you're home here." And you're like, "Shut up."
Yeah.
Shut up. We are not home.
You don't know.
Shut up.
You haven't lived through this.
That's the neutrals love to tell you that you're home here.
Yeah.
And I probably do that to mates as well. But
yeah, I like to do that. I love ruining someone's day.
Can't lose from here. Jeez, can't lose from here.
Surely. I'm definitely doing that for every Carlton fan that I know at the moment because, they look You know, they look good, and there's surely no way they can do that 2 years in a row of missing finals
There's no
again.
way.
Again.
No.
Yeah.
Well, there's some ways, but I think they'll make it this year.
What do you think of how's it feel having Ross Lyon back as coach?
It's sort of weird, but I think it felt like there needed to be a change. I mean, from the outside, I don't know. I think we kind of, at least for me, and I reckon some of my mates, we were like, for Richo, we were like, we got to stick with him. You know, like Tomo at the Cats, Hardwick.
Yeah.
At the Tigers, like they were about to be sacked. Everyone wanted them to be sacked, and they hang on, and then they came good.
Yeah.
So I think we kept thinking that with Alan Richardson.
Yeah.
And then I don't think we had the patience to do it again with Rats,
Yeah.
even though everyone loved him.
Yeah, but then
I loved him, but it just felt like it wasn't quite right for whatever reason.
I mean, and then he went to the D's and helped us win a premiership.
Yeah.
So maybe you
Where's
may have been
now?
like
Ratton's at the Roos, and they've started well.
Yeah.
I think we've just had some very good senior assistant coaches.
Yeah.
Be our senior coach.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But that's the thing, like Ross, you know, the boss, right?
Yes.
Like he's a proper senior coach.
It's impossible to know because every circumstance is different. But I mean, we've won games with half our list.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think the injury list seems bigger than it is because I think quite a few of them have never played a game. But we are missing Steele, King, Membry, Mackenzie, who are all like first 18 players.
Yeah.
And Billings and a few others.
Yeah, it's
Jones.
it's pretty rough. Yeah.
There's a few, but I mean, now the way they're going, some of those who were.
Yeah, they're going to be fighting for their spot now.
Yeah, which is, I guess, a good thing. Assuming this keeps going. I don't know when this is coming out.
Yeah.
Might have egg on my face.
Yeah, but
maybe I'm jinxing us right now.
There's a superstitious Saints thing coming out. But so are you like with Ross? Does it feel weird? Because like for me, I mean, the whole thing has been like, it's like when you signed him, it was like going back to an ex-girlfriend. But like usually when you go back to an ex-girlfriend, it doesn't really work out.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
It seems to be working out.
I've lived that a few times.
Yeah.
So far. I mean, early days when you go back though.
Yeah.
Things feel good for a while.
Yeah, it's good for 4 rounds, and then they fuck off to Freo again.
Who knows? Yeah, that's right. I think most Saints fans seem to be pretty cut at him, but I was like, you know, they didn't lock him in. It seemed like they were toying with him, and he's like, all right, stuff you. I'm gonna go get a deal.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You know, that's life.
We'll see.
I don't feel bad at him about that.
Yeah.
Some of the other things I'm a bit more questionable. I don't know if we talk about them on here, but they're the things that make me go, ugh.
Yeah. But I feel like the Saints are like, it's a real nostalgic year because like you have the 150th and you're going back to Ross, and then you have all the legends coming in as assistant coaches. Yeah. Like, how is that? Because I loved when like Uze came back to the D's as an assistant coach. Like I like when that happens, but it was weird that they all just sort of came back in the one go.
Yeah, it's been interesting, and I guess you can't fault it at this stage.
Yeah.
But, it's interesting. I think the old strategy was bringing in people who've had premiership success. Yeah. Which obviously bringing all Saints people back is not doing that. Although we do have Corey Enright as the backline coach, so he's in there. Yeah. But yeah.
You got one in there.
Ratton went away, like he was a premiership player.
Yeah.
Then he was assistant coach for all the Hawks premierships, I think. Yeah. In between getting fired from the Blues. So it felt like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what I'm talking about either. Like, I feel, why am I here? What am I doing talking about football?
I'm not even a journalist or anything.
You're not?
No.
Some of these probing questions, though.
Yeah. So how, like, so obviously you've been a Saints supporter your whole life. Is this like a
not
family?
Actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You chose this?
It's a secret shame. Well, no, I wasn't. I was born a Carlton supporter. My mum's Carlton. And her side of the family's Carlton. Right. And we were living in country Victoria. Yeah. And then my dad's side of the family is based in Moorabbin. And we, as a family, moved to Moorabbin when I was 5 or 6 or something. Yeah. And my Uncle John took me aside. And I don't think I'd been to a game at that point because we've been living in the country
Whereabouts in the country, is it?
Kyneton and Charlton. So the Charlton local team were the Charlton Blues as well. Wore the same jerseys and everything.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I saw them play a bit. But then, my Uncle John, he took me into the front room away from everyone else.
Yeah.
He sat me down. He goes, Matt, you go for the Saints now. And I said, okay, John. So then I've been a Saints supporter ever since. So that was pretty cruel. That was before 95. And so he cost me... I mean, since then, it's been pretty similar between the Saints and the Blues. But it would have been nice to be in alive for one. Although I think technically I've realised recently, in my early years, I think I was alive for a Blues grand final when I was there. I just didn't know it happened.
Oh, yeah, you would have been.
So I don't really remember those years as a football supporter. But I do remember going to Moorabbin as a kid. And, seeing Plugger and Nicky Winmar and Frankie Peckett, all the heroes.
Yeah.
Frankie's my number one. Peckett. He'd be... I know you only came to the game in 2000.
I came online in 2000,
You only really got the last, 6 or 7 glorious years of Frankie Peckett's career. But,
I don't remember him at all. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's disrespectful, but... Interesting, that's weird.
I sort of remember Plugger, but...
You sort of... Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. I came online in I think I chose the Ds because my cousin went for the Ds, but like back in the day, and then he sort of converted me. And like I feel like that's
how far into the season? Because you did obviously make the grand final that year. Feels a little bandwagon-y.
I feel like it was like since the start of that season at least, because my cousin and his whole family were all D supporters, and then my sister was a real diehard Essendon supporter, and I just wanted to go against whatever my sister was doing. And I was like, I'm choosing the Ds. But that's one of those things about footy that I love is like there's secret like converting kids in your family, because like my sister just had a nephew a couple of years ago, and I've been trying to like secretly convert him as a Ds fan, but like my dad had him as a Cats fan. It's just like
the presents you get and stuff like that.
Yes.
I'll take you to the footy. Yeah.
But then this is going to get dark, but Dad died, so now he's fair game. So I've got him. I've got him. I've got him as a decent.
Silver lining, I guess. All the Cats, are you sure you're doing the right thing? Taking him away from.
Well, the year he was born, we won the premiership, so I took that as a sign. But then, the year after, the Cats won. So I guess he's kind of.
There's plenty of Saints fans who were born in '66, Yeah. And their parents are like, "Oh, you'll see another one soon."
Brutal. So, were you? Did you go to any of the grand finals?
Yeah, I went to all of them apart from the draw. So I was there in '97.
Oh wow!
09 and 2010. The replay.
Yeah, the replay.
So I missed the only one that we got properly.
the only one that was worth going to.
09 we should have won.
Yeah.
Like clearly we won every stat apart from the goals kicked, which was the key. Like I think literally every stat. Clearances, kicks, marks, everything.
What hurts more than
that one's the one we should have won the most.
Yeah.
That hurts more than the draw. The draw is frustrating to look back on because we just needed to I mean, again, I don't know what I'm talking about, but it feels like we just needed to keep putting them to the sword.
Yeah.
Went defensive, gave them a goal, that gave them a chance to get the goal back.
Yeah.
You see, as soon as Goddard kicks the goal, I've only seen it in the highlights, and I have to look away.
Yeah.
But as soon as he kicks, takes the screamer, kicks the goal, then he's telling everyone to slow down and get back. And you're like, I don't know if that was the right play.
Yeah.
Who am I to say? But hindsight and all that.
Yeah.
But would have loved to have just kicked another one and broken their heart, and would have been party time.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? If that game went for 1 minute longer, you probably would have had it.
There was extra time there is now.
Yeah.
One of the many rules that they've changed after we've been negatively affected by it.
Yeah.
We won the premiership in 1913, and there was a rule at the time that there was a challenge.
No.
So the top team was able to challenge. So we beat Fitzroy in the grand final. And then they challenged us and beat us in the replay.
God.
And they don't do that anymore, obviously.
That's just one of those things where you just think, Saints supporters have to be the most loyal, not even just footy fans, sport fans across the world. Because that, just the amount of just bad luck and, hard luck stories that the entire club has and for how long it's gone, it's incredible that you still have fans.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know. I mean, you want the win, but it's still, I love the club and I love the people who love the club.
Yeah.
It does make you a different kind of person.
Yeah.
Definitely more humble, I think, than your average Cats fan.
Well, that's what I was saying to... so we had Michael Chamberlain in, and he's a Hawks fan.
Yeah, Hawks fan, especially.
Yeah, and
they're learning a little bit of humility at the moment. But they're still going, we need... What's going on? We need to turn this around. Premierships in the next 3 years. Give someone else a go for a bit.
But he lost count of how many premierships he's seen in his lifetime. I was like, that is so rude to even be able to count. Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
I can count them. One Ansett Cup. One Wizard Cup.
Yeah, so the replay of the 2010 Grand Final, how was that?
Lionel Richie was fantastic. Pre-game entertainment.
And then it's all a blur from there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a blur from there. It's banger after banger from Lionel. But then I felt like, and I've never gone back to watch it, but it felt like it was following a similar pattern of the first week. They were destroying us early, and then we fought our way back into the game, and it looked like it was maybe following a similar pattern as Revolt was running into the open goal.
Right.
And like a thief in the night.
Yeah.
Who was it? Oh, God, doesn't matter. I don't care. I think it was Reece Shaw, maybe, but smothered him.
Heath Shaw, I think.
Heath Shaw, sorry. Yes. Yeah. And...
Yeah.
But I mean, who knows? But that's what it felt like, and then it is a bit of a blur from then. And it felt I was pretty young at the 97 Grand Final. I just remember Barry Hall kicked 2 in a row, I reckon, maybe in the second or third quarter.
Yeah.
We were leading by a few goals into the third quarter. It was like, and at that point, won 9 in a row. It felt like it was destiny. Even
the streak?
The streak? Well, that was the first streak.
Yeah.
And then, but we'd lost, we lost Everett and Vidovic, the two key rucks in the prior weeks.
Yeah.
And that, I think in the end, that's what undid us. But there was a bunch of bad like that. One of the players had lost a close family member the night before. Yeah. There was all these problems going on. And, and then Darren Jarman just played one of the best quarters of football of all time, unfortunately. And I just remember sitting on my hands in the southern stand, Great Southern Stand, just being like... And then I don't think I talked to anyone for days afterwards. Went home. I think my family thought I was making a bit too much of it. I don't know how they didn't understand, but yeah.
It builds character.
The next day.
Yeah.
And, there was still a feeling of, next year.
Yeah.
But, yeah, obviously that didn't quite happen.
There's always that feeling, though, every year, right? But
yeah, it's funny when I know now that you've got to take your chance when you get there. It's like last year when Collingwood supporters were saying it's a free hit for us this year. I'm like, there's no guarantees you get back there. I mean, it looks like they will. But you don't take it for granted. Yeah. Not that you can do anything as a supporter. I hope your team's not thinking this is a free hit.
I definitely think there are things that you can do as a supporter. I'm quite superstitious, and I think that if I watch a game at home, and I'm not wearing at least one piece of memorabilia or a scarf or something, that I'm I can't do it. I think every time I've watched at home, I've worn at least a Guernsey or a scarf or something.
And did you do that at Premiership year?
Oh, yeah. I was covered. I put a scarf over the TV.
So you're a big part of it.
Yeah. I reckon I
contributed.
Home. Yeah. I was basically, I was channeling Clary when he kicked that goal on the turn-it.
How were you feeling when the dogs were getting a run on?
It's really weird. I can't really remember... Because I was just watching it at home back in Traralgon, so I was living in Melbourne at the time, and then it was during one of the 7 lockdowns or something, and I just got sick of Melbourne, and then I scooted it back to Gippsland to be with my family and stuff.
Have that Traralgon classic sort of Melbourne Demons tough sort of town.
Well, I didn't tell anyone that I was leaving, and then so I just watched it with my sister and my dad and my nephew and brother-in-law at the time, and
they were just been born.
Yeah, so he was covered in D's gear, and I can't really remember individual moments like that, because it happened really quickly when we started turning it around, and then I think that the only thing I remember is and when I felt comfortable of calling it was during the fourth quarter.
Yes.
But when in that third quarter, I thought definitely thought we were gonna lose. And then that barrage of goals happened, and like I still wasn't convinced, but like now looking back and I'm like, holy shit, like that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Amazing. But at the time you're still panicking in that. But yeah, and then the only time that I felt confident was like in the fourth quarter. I think my friend like FaceTimed me when I think it was right after Dogger kicked a goal in the fourth quarter, and I was like, I think we're home, and we're already up by like 60 points. Or something at that stage. And I'm like, I think I'm okay with calling this now.
That's the dream for me. I mean, the dream is to win it at all, but to be able to enjoy it while the game's still going, knowing you'd won, that would be the best. Yeah, that would be But I mean, it's also not satisfying not being able to like go to because like. Have you been around like Swan Street and stuff after a grand final? Like after the Tigers won in 2019, I went to Swan Street and like that was so goddamn fun. And like I couldn't imagine doing that, but for my own team. The only time I've done it is to go back to the train after losing.
God, it's so brutal.
I've never felt that good about the frivolities, you know.
God, it's so brutal. Like I like. Saints fans, I think, are the only people that I have any sort of sympathy for when it comes to...
Well, we until recently, until you abandoned us, we had a bit in common. Your ancient history is very successful.
Yeah.
Modern history, ours was very similar to yours.
Yeah. But there was a time there, like, where, like, when we were going really badly, I feel like D's and Saints had a little bit of a rivalry going because we were both, like, kind of...
Yes. It looked like we were coming up together.
At the same time, yeah. And you had the Woodovers for ages.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And
Like, I remember one of my angriest moments as a fan was probably I was watching it at home, and there was that game at Marvel Stadium because we couldn't win at Marvel. And we were leading, and then Montagna, I think, kicked that goal in like the last minute or something. And
there was just a time where it felt like we couldn't lose here for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And then you turned it around just before you exploded. Like, I think you beat us up in NT or somewhere, or Cairns or something.
Yeah, maybe.
And maybe the year you won it or the year before. I think it might have been the year before. And then, you just sort of... I reckon once you got our monkey off your back...
Yeah. I mean...
straight to the flag.
Yeah. So you can take credit, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, at that time, everyone had the wood over us. So... but that was an exciting time. It was like seeing us break all those hoodoos and stuff. But, yeah. So did you play footy growing up?
A little bit, but I was, I sucked. But I was even skinnier than this. And but yeah, I played junior footy for St Paul's in East Bentley.
Yeah, nice.
They were the Demons, so
nice.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And the club was good, but I was just no good. Spent some good time on the bench. Kicked a couple of goals.
What position did you play?
Sort of, I was, in junior football, they hide the people, in the pockets.
Yeah.
So I was forward pocket or maybe at forward flank.
I was a back pocket.
Yeah. Wow, we might...
Couldn't run, didn't train.
Yeah. It was fun, but yeah, I looking back, it would have been nice to have been coached a bit,
Yeah.
I think they write you off and go, we know you can't really play.
Yeah, but were you tall? Because you're like...
I was tall, I was tallish.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I was down from the start. Like, I was like half this height, and then I got to this height in around year 7, and then never got any further, and then I'd quit.
I remember one time, so height I was okay, I was real skinny. I remember tackling a guy who was running down the wing, taking multiple bounces. I chased him down, tackled him, but I couldn't bring him down. He kept running. It ended up being holding the ball because he went for a bounce again. He's dragging me along.
He was just ignoring you.
Yeah, basically like a fly had landed on his shoulder or something.
Oh man, yeah. I don't have any because I reckon I played maybe 1 year for the Morwell Youth Club, with Swans colours. And I still really like the Swans song because that's when I learned
great
it.
Song,
yeah, great song.
Shake Down the Thunder.
Shake Down the Thunder. Yeah, that's just lots of good imagery.
Yeah.
And so I played back pocket, and I think I played for most of the year, and then I in one of the last games of the season, I scored my first goal, and then I just quit. I didn't rock up there. I'm like, I've done it all.
Quit on the high. Yeah, you've done that right.
Yeah. And then I played soccer for a couple of years. But
did you think about doing that with the Demons? They win the premiership, quitting it.
Well, that's kind of how it, because like, it's like before we won the premiership, I was so much more obsessed with footy than I am now. Like I'm still pretty obsessed now.
I can see that happening. You know, it's like we did it.
Yeah,
and that's I find it
close the club.
I don't really understand how like Hawthorn supporters keep fronting up.
Yeah,
like I hope we win another one.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, you've done it. Like, yeah, I guess it's you know like you want to see a premiership at like every point in your life.
It'd be nice. Yeah, and it's also I reckon you'd be able to relax and enjoy a second one. Yeah, probably more than the first.
Yeah. Well, I'm so much more relaxed watching footy now. Like, if I think we're going to lose, I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
And then I'll just turn on the highlights.
The dream, but I feel it's stressful all the time for me. I feel non-stop stressed at a game. The 150th game, I was just stressing out. Yeah. We kicked away in the end, and it wasn't like not quite the same as you at the grand final, but it was similar. You know, until we got 5 goals up with 5 minutes to go, I was like, I think we're this is a round 3 game. It doesn't
have you ever done because obviously stand-up comedians, have you ever done like a footy club gig?
Yeah, I've done a few footy club gigs. Yeah. They're not too bad. I find the cricket club ones to be the most brutal for some reason. Yeah. I don't know why that is. But they can be pretty tough. But yeah, the footy club gigs are normally pretty fun. Why the cricket club? Because I've done a cricket club gig, but it was to about 7 people. Okay. Well couldn't even put the 11 together. Yeah, you couldn't. And most of it, because it was organised by, who was it? Gavin Semple. Oh, cool. Yeah, he put together back, I think it was like Long Warrior or something. And it was his mates and his mum, and then a couple of guys from the cricket club down there. So, and it was just like, I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was just a couple of people in a room doing comedy. Yeah. Thanks for that one, Gav. But yeah, what was your experience with it? I'm just thinking about it now. It's possibly got something to do with you doing it after they've been drinking all day. Yeah. That's probably got something to do with it. If they're batting that day or whatever, or it's rained out or something. Yeah. They're just you want to go on early. Yeah. I think, and it's something about a team. You know, if the alpha dog of the team isn't on board, they're all looking over at him, going, "Is it all right to laugh at this?" Yeah. I'd be terrified of doing a footy gig, because that's the thing. They're all a team, so they're all one unit. Like usually, if you do a gig, the crowd, they don't know each other. Yeah, that's right. So like if you've got one dude that doesn't like it, you know, he's by himself essentially, and you can win over the rest of the crowd. But you know, they're a team. They got to do the team thing. You got to stand as one. That's right. Yeah, I think that probably is part of the reason why. Sports club gigs can be a bit tougher. I think they usually just like to be made fun of, or like they like individuals. They like a roast to be roasted. Yeah. They don't have any time for your nonsense. Oh, you've written some jokes, have you? Yeah. Tell Bazza he's got funny hair. Yeah, they expect you to write a whole set about one guy at their club who you've never met. I got to learn that lesson and just do it next time. All right. Yeah. Who's got funny hair? Have you ever done a corporate gig or anything for like an AFL function? I haven't done AFL. No, I did a rugby league one in Brisbane a few years ago. That's one of my. It wasn't the best. Yeah. I made the mistake of saying that I was talking about how I support proper footy. And looking back, I thought they'd sort of enjoy a bit of ribbing, but they took it personally, I think. And I never really recovered it. Peter Dutton was in the crowd as well. I couldn't stop referring to him. It was right there, and I'm like, Peter Dutton's here. And they're all like, yeah, he is. I'm like, it's weird though, isn't it? And like, no. I'm like, Peter Dutton? It's pretty weird. Yeah, how would you not talk about that the entire time if Peter Dutton's there? And he's like, I'm doing comedy. Is that like the most famous person you've done a gig for? Oh. And but infamous, famous, you know. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny because you can't, in that room, it was so well lit, which is obviously not ideal for comedy. Yeah. You don't want the audience to be able to be so well lit. But at the festivals, I can't see nearly anyone in the room past the first row. Yeah. So it's funny when I go to the door to say thanks for coming to everyone as they leave. Yeah. And there's been a few, like Sean McAuliffe left one time. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
A few cool people like that, like comedy heroes have been through, and I'm like, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, right.
Peter Dutton's never wanted out. I don't know. he got enough of me that first time, I think. Yeah.
So who, like, speaking of comedy heroes, name them. Like, who
Name them?
Yeah.
Name my comedy heroes. It's a very personal question. I thought we were here to talk about footy. Now you're delving into my private
It's Kickin
life.
Gags. This is the Gags
Gags,
part.
all right.
Yeah.
We've kicked.
We've kicked
now
and now we're gagging. Yeah.
I'd say, I reckon my favourite comic's a local guy called Alistair Tremblay-Birchall. It's probably maybe my all-time favourite. I love David Quirk.
Yeah. Very funny.
And then international, like Rory Scovel in America.
Yeah.
Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Stuart Lee. There's a lot. They're all dudes.
Yeah.
Celia Piccola's one of my favourites.
I saw Celia a couple of years ago at the fest. Yeah.
I think my favourite comedians are probably mainly Australians.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah.
But I think there's some good comedy as well overseas. I know they dabble in it over there, but
yeah.
I think
Bill Burr
Australian
does
seems pretty
okay.
good. Yeah, he does okay.
Yeah.
That's good. I love it. So your first ever gig you were on with Zach.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. So I was working in Warragul at the time, and then I drove maybe 2 hours after work to, I don't know if you remember Mad Dog Comedy in Footscray. Yeah. So, and then obviously I was first time, so I went on in the third bracket at like 10:30 p.m. and then Zach got on before me, killed it, and I was like, this is a really high standard in Melbourne, like for open mic comedy. And then I went up, and I did okay in my first couple of minutes, and then I bombed for the rest of the however long I did. It was probably like 2 minutes or so.
That's fun. Even you just do well for long enough to come back again.
Yeah.
My first gig was at a room called Pugs in Space. It was at, it's not a bar anymore, but it was called Pug Mahone's, an Irish bar in the city.
Okay, yeah.
I don't even know where that would be.
Yeah.
Now, but Dill was the host.
Yep. Dilruck.
Joe
Senior.
Senior, yeah.
Yep.
And Luke McGregor was on the lineup.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, I'm like, oh, this is sick.
Yeah.
Because I already knew them. I'd, seen them perform and stuff. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Handy lineup to be on at what basically was just like a booked open mic. But yeah, so fun.
Yeah.
And then it's funny how, they're very blurry, the ones after that. But you remember the first one pretty well? Actually, the second one I remember pretty well as well because I just froze.
Yeah.
I couldn't think. I knew I was doing a bit about that was related to boat people.
Yeah.
But I couldn't remember the bit, and I just said boat people.
That's it.
And I'm like, mouth is dry, and I'm like,
God.
And it just felt like time had slowed down. I couldn't hear anything. My brain stopped working.
He just kept saying
nightmare boat people.
Yeah, boat people.
But I look like, is this on purpose? Is he doing some of that anti-comedy?
No, I remember doing exactly the same thing, except it wasn't even. I hadn't gotten to a punchline or anything yet. I froze like during the premise, and I must have messed up the premise. And it was at Voltaire, and it was the first time I've done that room, and like it was the first time I've done a room where it's sort of you can't see the audience, like you have an actual spotlight on you, and then you can't see the audience. So I was just sort of like blinded by the light.
Bit disorientating when you're not expecting it.
Yeah, and then they soundproof the room, so like laughter doesn't really like bounce around too much. So like if you get a laugh,
it's
just
ideal.
sort of you just sort of get a laugh and then it just sort of dies.
Yeah, oh, that's so funny.
And when it's quiet,
who chose
it's
to
really
do that?
quiet. Yeah, I know, right? It's so, and yeah, I think I stumbled through a premise and then I just went like, fuck it. And I just walked off, like with no warning or anything.
Yeah.
And everyone was very confused. I think Pete Jones may have been the MC that time. And then like after I walked off, I went and sat in the back row, just just staring into space. And then Pete came up to me and he's like, "Hey man, if you like want to have another go in the next bracket, I'll put you on again if you want to have another crack at it.
Oh,
and I was just like, I'm never coming back here again. And then that got a laugh in that little section of the audience, and it fucked up whoever was on stage at the time. And but because I got that laugh, I'm like, oh no, I'll come back.
Yeah.
I know I can get a laugh. Just I didn't do it on stage. Okay, we'll go back to footy, right? Most famous football player that you've met.
That's a good question. I remember, it wouldn't be famous to you, but I used to work at a news agency / post office.
Oh yeah. What was your role at the news agency?
Oh, just like the lowest level person they having a serve
just
on the
tidying
counter.
up the magazines.
Yeah. If you're not working, you better have a broom in your hand, kind of thing. And I'm trying to think I'm blanking on his name. This shows how famous he is.
Saints.
But he's player? He's a Tigers player, and it was from
Describe him.
This is from before, but
Before 2000?
before my time.
Oh, okay.
But he was like a legend, multiple premiership player and stuff. Let me get my phone.
KB?
No, not KB.
Matt Stewart is just going to grab his phone so that he can...
Are you editing this?
Yeah, I'm editing this.
He's getting like a D vibe, like a really bad medium.
Okay.
Getting a D from over here. Francis Bourke, that's right.
Right.
So he was like, he's their team of the century legend, but he was he filled in while my boss went on holiday. So
you worked with him
for 2 weeks
at the news agency.
Francis Bourke was my boss at the news agency.
Like post footy career.
Yeah, like in the 2000s sometime.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been like 2005 or something.
Yeah. See, that's like I've only met footy players in the context of like either this job or like they're like doing an appearance or something, or you just down the street or whatever.
Yeah.
I've never had to like work with. Actually, that's a lie. I worked with like Pendles and Robbie Campbell, back in the day. Yeah, but like, did you get to know him?
He was. I preferred him to the regular boss. He was a lot nicer. But it was. That was cool because I'm like, I knew him by name, but he played before I was born.
Yeah, what was his era then? Like,
I think he was
70s.
70s,
yeah.
70s, maybe into the 80s.
Yeah, wow. Bit of a step down from the premiership player to the news agent.
That's the funny thing about, there's got to be a career after footy, right? There's only a certain amount of coaching and media jobs.
True.
So the vast majority have to, even the legends, they just have to find their calling somewhere else.
Everybody ends up in a news agent at one point.
Especially in the old days.
Yeah.
They weren't...
They were part-timers.
Yeah, they were part-timers while playing. So he probably got a pay rise when he started running a news agency, which is wild.
What was his role at the news agency? Just behind the registers?
Just the boss.
Yeah, right.
He was the boss. So I don't know, it's funny to have a fill-in boss, but that's what he was. I think he worked in the news agency industry. Maybe he had a few news agencies or something.
Yeah, right.
So he's probably the biggest name. But then, a heap of Saints support. I went to the Best and Fairest a few years ago and briefly met a bunch of players, embarrassed myself, by being starstruck by people younger than me.
Yeah, we were talking about this the other day. It's like, it's weird to look up to AFL players because they're all younger than me.
Yeah.
Like, I look up to, like, not just physically, but I look up to Christian Petrarca, and that dude is like a couple of years younger than me, has a TikTok account. Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But yeah, Frankie Peckett, my all-time favourite. I interviewed him I did a web series during lockdown.
Yep.
Where I interviewed my heroes.
Right.
So I interviewed him, Andrew Gaze, a few others. It was pretty fun.
And was this through Stupid Old?
Yeah, Stupid Old Studios, yeah.
Let's give a shout out to them because you guys do some like awesome work. I think maybe back in the day, maybe a couple of years ago, I may have applied for a job as Stupid Old Studios. Yeah.
Well, it was probably me who just crumpled up that. No, I would have had nothing to do with that. But, sick. Well, I should apply again.
Yeah.
Get you out of this dank hellhole. What's this going to look like?
Don't know yet. Haven't figured it out.
I hope it just stays green.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful shade.
Yeah. Doing cool work at Stupid Old Studios. You like shoot comedy specials and stuff?
Yeah. A lot of it's basically a comedy production house, and it's also comedians have desks there to write their shows at and record podcasts at, as well as the video production studio.
Yeah.
So I've done a bunch of live specials.
Yes, including your own.
Including my own. The old one. We've moved now to an even nicer place, but I'll record another one there, I guess.
Sweet.
Maybe here. Do you think we could get a few in?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a couch and like 2 chairs. That's all you need. Yeah.
Have you thought of getting a weekly room started up in here?
I don't know. It's going to be
Kickin Gags.
footy specific.
Kickin Gags, sorry.
Kicking a foot in
I've taken your very clever name and taken the clever part out of it.
Appreciate it. It's not too late to change that. Like, I clearly haven't made the artwork or anything yet. So, if we want to do that.
I think I'd lock in Kickin Gags.
Yeah.
Footy and Gags is also good. Gags of goals? There's bags, right?
That's kicking. I was going to go
goals.
kicking a bag, but it doesn't.
Kicking
Which
a gag.
may roll off the tongue a little bit better, kicking a bag, but then we wanted multiple. I don't know. I didn't make the final call on the name. I'll put that one out to my
That
boss.
goes up the chain.
Yeah.
I'm Francis Bourke. You go.
All right, well, let's wrap up because this has been really fun. And
Almost too much fun.
Oh, too much fun, So one more plug. Ding. Melbourne Comedy Festival. Where can the people find you? Where can they find tickets?
It's at the Chinese Museum. They can find tickets on comedyfestival.com.au. Just search Matt Stewart or Ding, and or find me on social media, Matt Stewart Comedy.
Yeah,
should turn me up if they want to see that hour shot at the old Stupid Old Studios. Just on YouTube for free.
Yeah,
which is a very good value price. I think.
It is.
Just search Matt Stewart.
It's a good special too. I did watch it as prep because
that's good prep.
It's good stuff.
That's now you're really working, earning your keep.
Matt Stewart, thank you for coming on to Kickin Gags.
Thanks so much for having me on Kickin Gags. Kana signers. Bye, Australia.
What an amazing, incredible, inspiring episode of Kickin Gags. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the YouTube channel or, follow us on all the socials and all that sweet stuff that really helps with everything that we do. And you can always catch the latest AFL news at zerohanger.com.au. I've been Phoenix Trinidad. Good night. Goodbye. See you later.